Coming to you live from Columbus, Ohio, it's Motown Downtown. Today's guest, Heather Reusz.
Come on down to Motown Downtown.
My name is Tyson Bruno, and here's your host, Mo Chocolate.
Come on down to Motown Downtown.
What is up, boys and girls? How's it going? My name is Mo Chocolate, and welcome to another brand new episode of Motown Downtown. And I'm here to make sure that you have a wonderful time at the greatest time. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with a very, very special guest. You've seen her on Twitch. You've seen her on YouTube. You've seen her on Channel Awesome, constantly going, am I right, boys? Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one, the only, Heather Reusz!
Hey.
What is up, Heather?
Oh, you know, just living life, living the streamer dream. No, I'm just kidding.
That's nice. First of all, thank you so very much for taking time out of your day to be here on the show. Thank you all. Thank you so very much. Round of applause once again for Heather Reusz. Thank you. Huge fan of you, Heather. So it is an honor for me to just see you right now on the show. Thank you so very much. And before we begin, I actually have a surprise for you.
Oh, a surprise.
I hear word on the street say you are infatuated with giraffes.
Oh.
Am I correct?
Yeah, you know, I may have a couple of giraffe things around here. I don't know, just a little bit.
Because this is the first time I've ever done this for a guest, but we actually have another guest onto the show. The one and only Jerry the giraffe that we brought for the stream just for you, right next to you, and also the guest view. He'll be right next to you the whole time.
God. Oh, that's so great. My comfort giraffe. Hello. You said his name's Jerry?
Jerry.
Jerry, hi. It's so wonderful to see you.
Happy to see you, of course. So before we begin, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience for the two people who have no idea who you are. What you do for a living, what you do for fun, all that jazz. Go.
Sure, great. Well, hello, I'm Heather Reusz. Right now, I am very lucky enough to be a full-time streamer. I mainly focus on variety games that are story-based. I like really story-based games. You may have seen me because I have been on YouTube with Channel Awesome since, it's almost hard to believe, but since 2016, where I started off doing awesome comics and then slowly but surely integrated into more different shows before finally basically starting their Twitch channel. So I split my time now. My days are split between my personal stream and the Channel Awesome stream. Yeah, I mean, I guess for my likes, I like story-based games. I like beer. I like giraffes. That's it.
That's what type of beer?
It's so basic of me, but I like IPAs. I know that's like the most basic craft beer bitch thing you could possibly like, but I just love IPAs. I like the bitterness of them, and I'm so deep into craft beer. I even have favorite hops. The Galaxy hops and Simcoe hops are my favorite hops. You give me a good Galaxy hop IPA, I'm your best friend. No.
So we're officially besties. Nice. So my first question for you is, as a gamer, how did you get involved? How did you get into video games? Like, what was your very first console, your very first game, and you were like, I want to do this as a career on a channel called Channel Awesome? Go.
Well, it's kind of interesting because growing up, I didn't have any consoles. We didn't get a console in my house until the Sega Dreamcast. That was the first one we had. But I would go over to my cousin's house, and he had an NES and an SNES. And so some of my like earlier gaming memories are like going over to my cousin's house and literally having a binder with graph paper where we would play well, I shouldn't say play in quotation, but we would play Legends of Zelda together, where basically he played and I mapped out all of the dungeons for him in this book. And so I have memories of like playing with my friends, or even like I played a lot of N64 games, but it's because I was at my friend's house and my neighbor's house. So I didn't consider myself a gamer for a while. But ironically, while all these people were hanging out with their consoles, I was doing PC stuff. We tended to have a lot of computer, back even before it was regular for people to have computer. We had computers in our home because, fun fact about Mama Reusz, my mom was one of the very first computer programmers ever to work in a bank in the 1970s.
Really?
Because she had a degree in math. There wasn't even a degree for computer science.
That's amazing.
There was just math. So she worked in downtown Chicago and would we still have some in the basement, was working on computers when they were punch card operated. Like when you had to use punch cards to operate a computer in the 80s.
That's amazing.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
So we always had computers in our house. And so I played computer games, not realizing that, like, I don't know, that was another way that I could consider myself a gamer. But like I knew how to do all the games on DOS. Like I could even program some basic stuff on DOS. And I was playing, like, well, while my friends had their N64s, I was playing Wolfenstein 3D and Duke Nukem and Doom. But I was like, oh, but I'm not a real gamer. I'm not like my friends. My friends have, like, Nintendos. Well, like, really, I was playing Doom. Of course you were a gamer, Heather.
How old were you when you were playing Duke Nukem, out of curiosity?
Oh, God. Probably 8 or 9 when I first started playing Duke Nukem.
Okay, your parents are really cool then.
Well, it was funny because, like, sometimes they would be cool with it and sometimes they wouldn't. So, like, Doom, they weren't 100% cool with. But Wolfenstein 3D was fine because I was killing Nazis.
Hey, who doesn't love killing a few Nazis every once in a while, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
What are some of your favorite gaming memories as a child?
God. Well, I've told this story before. When we first got our Dreamcast, I was a little bit of a whiny bitch about it because I wanted a PS2, but Santa brought us a Dreamcast, and I was old enough to know. I'm so sorry, everyone, close your ears, but Santa isn't real. Santa is not real. I'm so sorry. I was old enough to know that, and I was kind of like, Mom, I wanted a PS2. I don't know what this Dreamcast is, but I wanted a PS2. And she was like, well, this is what we got. And the guy at GameStop said this was better anyway. But then some of my favorite, like, gaming memories are all things I played on my Dreamcast because it was my first own console. So, like, I know Sonic Adventures isn't the greatest game ever, but that was, like, the first time I was like, this is my game. I can do whatever I want on it. So I used to play the heck out of Sonic Adventures or Crazy Taxi. I got really great at Crazy Taxi when I was little.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I have a lot of good memories playing Crazy Taxi. Like I mentioned, being in my cousin's basement, just like playing Legends of Zelda with him, mapping it out. That's always a nice gaming memory there. And then in college, I got a little bit more into it because I got back into PC gaming, but doing LAN parties with my friends. Like while most other people were out drinking, we would like bring all of our PC setups and just like play Team Fortress 2 for hours, or like, I don't know. I don't even remember what else we used to LAN party with, but
WoW,
LAN parties,
maybe?
man. Yeah, maybe I wasn't huge into WoW, but some of my friends were, but LAN parties, man, what a time.
Gotcha. Now, so would you say you were Team Nintendo or Team Sega back in the day?
Oh, God. I think I was Team Nintendo, but we had a Dreamcast. You know?
Yeah.
I always wanted, we did get a PS2 like later after our Dreamcast died. We did end up getting a PS2. So then for a while I was hardcore into like, I'm a PlayStation girl because Xbox is stupid because your Xbox is the same thing as my gaming computer, but I don't have to pay for internet.
Oh man, that was
edgy high school Heather had none of your Xbox shit.
Hey, I am all for that. Like, paying for internet, hell no, just no. But yeah, so it's like, so my next question is, as you can tell by our friend Jerry on your couch, on the couch there, you are probably the only person I've ever met. Nobody on planet Earth, I'm sure, loves giraffes more than you, Heather, is just where does that obsession with giraffes come from? Please explain to us that.
I don't even remember when I started, like, just loving giraffes, but I just always thought they were so... This is gonna sound stupid, but I always thought they were so cute because, like, edgy high school, middle school Heather was like, I'm so different. I'm not like normal people. And I was like, you know what else isn't like normal things? Giraffes. Look at their tall necks and their black tongues. I love them. They're like edgy horses.
Yeah, it's like they are. There's nothing on Earth taller than giraffes. So you are. They do stand out in that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So then giraffes have been my favorite animal since I was like in middle school or high school. And then when I was just trying to come up with like a branding scheme, I guess, for my Twitch channel, I was shooting around ideas with my husband, Lucas, and it's like, well, what kind of things do you love? And I was like, I don't know. I like gaming, but like tons of people have gaming like layouts. You know, I like beer, but that feels a little weird because then you're isolating people who like don't like beer. Like I like giraffes and mechs. And then we were like, well, what if it was a mecha giraffe? And I was like, what if it was a mecha giraffe? I love that idea.
That is the most badass thing I've heard all day. I actually like that.
Yeah, so one of my first emotes was a mecha giraffe that has, it was very important to me that instead of legs, because the first draft of he had like stilt legs, and I was like, no, he needs like tank treads instead of legs. It needs to have like tank treads, and it needs to shoot lasers from its mouth and eyes. And Lucas was like, oh, okay, sure, great. You sure? And I was like, yes, I want tank treads on it, please.
Hey, that I like the design choice, and that's definitely no one. I doubt anyone on Twitch has a mecha giraffe as an emote. Just saying.
Yeah.
So
right, exactly.
Another reason how you send out. But I'm glad you mentioned Twitch because that's my next question is how did you discover Twitch and decide I want to do that also? Give us that a story.
Well, there was. Like I said before, I started Channel Awesome in like 2016. And once I started doing some Channel Awesome stuff, there was like a little bit of a feeling that I should do something else as long as I'm very lucky. Like I recognize I was very lucky to be a part of Channel Awesome. Like as long as I have these new members of the audience or community or whatever, I should find a way to like make a YouTube channel or something because Tamara had a channel, Ayana had a channel at that time. I'm pretty sure that one's dead. Like Walter was making his own stuff too, and I was like, I should have a YouTube channel too, but I don't know how to edit. That just doesn't, I don't know what I would make. That doesn't really sound fun for me to like sit down and have to edit and make YouTube videos. That just doesn't sound fun to me. And what else can I do? And around that time, Twitch was just starting to get a little bit more popularity. I can't even remember how I first found it. I think like someone else I followed on social media was like, oh, well, have you heard of Twitch? Because it wasn't Justin back then. I was not aware of Twitch when it was Justin.tv. I'm not that old school with Twitch. So then I heard a little bit more about Twitch. Oh, I know what it was because one of my friends was involved with Extra Life, which is a charity event that I do every year for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So one of my friends was involved with Extra Life, and I was like, that sounds really cool. I wish I could game and raise money for kids hospitals too. And he was like, well, you can just like sign up and start a Twitch channel. And I was like, what's a Twitch? Tell me more. So then I started watching it and I was like, I can do this. My very early streams, some people who have been around my channel since the dawn of it, my very early streams were direct from my PS4. I bought my PS4 and had a camera, a PlayStation camera. And I just plugged in the camera and like went live direct from my PS4. I didn't have a computer or anything. I was just like, I mean, I had a computer, but I didn't think it was good enough to be gaming on or streaming on. So I just got a PS4, thought, all right, I'm interested in this, and just did it because I thought there might be a way for me to branch out and do something that wasn't YouTube.
And that is the birth of the Twitch Queen.
Yep.
Hands down. And that you kind of already answered this question, but like, is that why you went with simply Heather Reusz, not giving yourself a online nickname, so that way people from CA can find you a lot easier?
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of already like, sometimes hate to talk like this, but like it's the reality of being a content creator is it was just already my brand was that I was Heather Reusz. You know, like I didn't have, if I used, like I have, it's almost embarrassing. No, you know what? We're going to share. We're going to do it.
Yay!
When I was in high school, my like gamer tag and on Steam, I was wing goddess after the Escaflowne movie. Hitomi is the wing goddess in the Escaflowne movie. And so for my gamer tag for a long time was wing goddess. And I was like, if I just decide to be twitch.tv/wing goddess, no one's going to know who the heck I am. Like people on Channel Awesome already know me as Heather Reusz. They're going to be like twitch.tv/wing goddess. What the hell is up with that? You know?
That's amazing. Like I've always wondered, because I know that is that why also the other cast members also had just go by their own names on a Twitch?
Yeah, because we've already kind of been established with our name. So it wouldn't make sense to have like socials under my regular, like I had already made my Twitter and my Instagram at that point, so it wouldn't make sense to be like, all right, my Twitter is Heather Reusz, but my Twitch is Wing Goddess. You know, like it just, everything needs to be consistent.
Gotcha.
It makes it easier to find, as you probably I'm sure have experienced as well. It makes you easier to find.
A lot, yeah, because there aren't that many Mo Chocolates online. Yay. Mm-hmm. So that's my next question is what was like the one game that's like your favorite memory streaming on Twitch, and the one game that gave you the worst experience streaming on a Twitch?
Oh man. Probably my favorite game that I streamed is like 3 or 4 years ago when I first started my channel. I had somehow not gotten ruined or spoiled at all to The Last of Us. And so I played through The Last of Us completely blind. I don't know how that happened, that I never knew anything about The Last of Us, but played through it completely blind. And it was such a like special experience because I feel like that was the first game where like my community was solidifying. And so it was just really cool to see these people come back for like the first time when I was playing a game. Everyone was coming back like week by week to be like, I have to see you finish playing this game. I have to see your reaction to this. Like, and it was just a really cool experience sharing that with a growing community because it is now one of my favorite games. I loved it. It was an amazing experience, and I'm so glad I was not spoiled to it at all. And there was a giraffe. I almost cried when you get to the giraffe scene in Last of Us.
We were all waiting for that, yeah.
I almost cried. It was so beautiful.
One of the best moments in gaming history, I would even say. It's just such a beautiful scene. Yeah. And then we get Last of Us 2.
I liked Last of Us 2.
It's so
It wasn't
sad,
the story. It wouldn't have been the story that I would have told. It would not have been the story that if I had the control of the characters that I would have told, but I see where they were going with it, and I respect the choices that they made. Would they have been the choices that I made? No. But do I think they ruined the franchise? No. They had a story to tell, and that was the story they wanted to tell, you know?
Yeah. So what would you say was the one game that gave you the worst streaming experience on a Twitch?
Worst. I mean, there weren't many. I'm pretty good about seeing games all the way through. So I'm trying to think if there was a game that I'd like literally rage quit because I was like, you know what? Nope, we're done with this. Not really. I mean, this isn't worst like because it made me so mad or it was just an awful game. But the first time, I think the first scary game I played, because I'm not a horror person. I hate horror. I don't like being scared, but you know what? In October, we all got to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
So I played Until Dawn on stream because Tamra, I love her to death. She let me borrow her copy of the game. And when I asked, she was like, oh, it's like a story-based game. You like the Telltale games. You like Life is Strange. You'll love Until Dawn. And I was like, great, wonderful, but it's horror. And she's like, yeah, but don't worry. There's like no jump scares in it. If you played Until Dawn, that is a bold-faced lie.
Yeah.
There are so many jump scares in that game.
Yeah.
And me being like, oh, yeah, this is going to be great. I also had, for the first time, scare alerts turned on. So like my heart left my body. My soul left my body like 20 times while we were playing that game. And it wasn't like, I obviously wasn't like, I hate this, this is stupid, I'm not doing this again. But it was like just a whole different experience to play a horror game, to play it on stream and with scare alerts going on. It was a lot.
Your poor eardrum.
It was a lot, yeah.
So, next question, Heather Reusz. I give you a lot of money, okay? Like like I give you a lot of money, enough the number you have in your head, but 10 times more. If you and you have the option to change Twitch as a whole. If you had the money to change Twitch, what would you change and why?
Oh, that's a really great question. This is kind of more topical and relevant now, but I think I would throw more money at safety features. Like,
yes,
the fact that they're owned by Amazon, they have to have better ways to do things like IP banning, and like there has to be a better way that they can be controlling the like bot and hate raid situation more. There has to be. With the money that Amazon has and the access to the servers that Amazon probably does, like the problem shouldn't be the way that it is. So I think that would be my number one thing, is putting more money into creator safety and creating creator safety tools, so that no one feels like they're stressed to stream because they're going to get a hate raid or they're going to get botted or anything crazy like that. That shouldn't happen, frankly, in a platform like this that's owned by Amazon. And then the other thing I'd probably work on is discoverability. I don't know how they could improve discoverability, but the tags don't really always work. Like, I don't know many people who search Twitch by tags or by game. Like, there's just got to be a way they can more tailor-make recommended, and not even tailor-make it, but just push more smaller or mid-sized creators in recommended. You know?
Now, how would you handle the music issue right now?
Well, I think I have a little bit of a different perspective on it than some of my other streamer friends, because I come from a YouTube background, and not only from a YouTube background, but from a YouTube channel that so heavily got involved with fair use rights, because Doug did a whole WTF, where's the fair use campaign with YouTube. So I feel like I've kind of always been inundated with that, with chatter about fair use and DMCA and things like that, where a lot of my friends who were streamers were doing things like listening to pop music while they were playing Halo, and they were mad that they couldn't do that. But like that's just the law. That's just the law. Now, what I do think is stupid that they need to find a workaround is games that are music that are in games. Like, if you shouldn't not like I have been interested in playing, is it Melody of Memory? Is that the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game? I've been interested in playing that, but I can't play it on, I'm scared to play it on stream because Japanese DMCA is so strict. Like, I wouldn't want it to get taken down, and there's nothing in place for people who play like rhythm games. Or one of my Last of Us 2 videos got claimed because the song that they play on guitar.
Really?
You know, like that's silly.
Very.
That's in the game. That's in the game, and that's part of the game experience. Otherwise, you get that Life is Strange,
oh
True
my
Colors
God,
moment where they're awkwardly dancing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. No.
Right.
That is just that is just meme central right there. What I would do, what I think is a good idea, is if there was kind of like a yearly certificate thing that protects streamers. Like, you pay like, I don't know, 100 a year or 20 a month, and gives you this certificate that protects you from DMCA, where it's like you are streaming the game, but you're not selling the music. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like that.
Right. Especially with things like rhythm games. And I know Amazon tried to do something like that. Like, 2 or 3 years ago, they tried to push Amazon Music integration as a part of Twitch. But that's still not the same, because the only people who could listen to the Amazon Music were if you had an Amazon Music subscription as well. And like, it didn't quite work out. The kernel of the idea was there, but it just didn't work out. But yeah, it's just silly when it's a part of the game. I really feel for people who play rhythm games and have to worry about that all the time.
Just Dance stream right here.
Yep. Right. Like, that's so silly. You shouldn't have to worry about that. You paid for Just Dance. And it's not like the whole heart of the issue is with the DMCA law. The whole heart of the issue is that they're assuming that people are coming to listen to the music at your stream instead of buying it or listening to it somewhere else. And that's just not the reality of it. I'm not watching a Just Dance stream to listen to some random cover of a Katy Perry song. You know what I mean? Like, I'm there to watch the dancer. I'm there to chat in their chat. There's a whole bunch of issues in the music industry in general, though, with DMCA. It's a whole thing.
So let's talk about your teaching now, because you are actually a teacher, right?
Yes, yeah. I am now doing full time with Twitch, with Channel Awesome. But up until the 2019-2020 school year, yes, I was a teacher for 10 years. 10 years I was a teacher.
Nice. And were you also a teacher in Japan too?
I did. Yeah, that was that was a quarter life crisis, I guess is the best way to put it. Because I had been teaching for 2 years at a public school system, and I didn't love it. And come to find out later, thank goodness, it was just the school I was at. The school I was at was just really toxic. Like the principal and the assistant principal were just not very good at their jobs, and like all of the teachers were really, really cliquey, where like I just wasn't a part of their clique because it was like high school where some of the other teachers would be like, ew, you like video games? Ew. And I'm like, hi, we're 23? Does it matter?
Even teachers act like high school kids.
It was the school I was at. The school I was at was just not great there. So after 2 years there, people were telling me, "Oh, this is great. You could like just be tenured. All you have to do is stay there for another 2 years, and you could just be there forever." And I was like, "Forever? I can't do this forever. I can't do this forever." And at the time, Lucas was studying art in Italy. And he was like, "Well, you should do something like I'm doing." And I was like, "I should do something like you're doing. I've always wanted to go to Japan." So I applied to teach English as a second language in Japan and got the job right away because not many actual certified teachers apply to do that. Many people who apply to JET, I didn't do JET. I did a private school called Amity. But most people who apply for those are people who are more interested in like Japanese culture rather than teaching. So I was very rare that I was actually a certified teacher applying for this position. So they hired me right away.
That's good. That's very good. So like, what was some of your favorite memories? Like, how long were you in Japan? Some of your favorite memories, and like teaching them English. Like, do you have to show them like the there, and there, the difference between all three words and stuff?
So I was there for a little bit over a year. I was offered after my year contract was up. I was offered a management position, but I was like, no, you know what? This has been fun, but I got to get back to my normal life in America. Like, I don't think I want to retire here. I don't want to, I don't want to stay here for much longer. So that was from like 2011 to 2012. I was there. The best part was just being able to explore. Because I had weekends and holidays to just explore the country and just go all around. And at my training sessions, I had met so many friends from other areas where, like, if it was Golden Week, I might go up to visit them in Fukushima and they might come visit me because I lived around a suburb of Tokyo. I was right in between Tokyo and Yokohama, which was great because I was a 40-minute train ride to Tokyo, a 40-minute train ride to Yokohama. So like on a weekend, I could just be like, sure, you know what? I just feel like going to a thing in Tokyo this weekend.
I'm so jealous. Awesome. I would love to go to Japan. Did you go to like any of the was there like a Dragon Ball museum, a Pokemon museum, and Studio Ghibli museum, all that stuff?
Yeah, I went to the Studio Ghibli museum. I went to so when I was there in 2011, 2012 was actually the weekend that the life-size Gundam on Odaiba opened.
Oh my god.
So I went opening weekend to see the Tokyo Gundam in Odaiba. It was great. Opening weekend.
So jealous.
I was so like giddy. Or even my birthday that I spent in Japan, the weekend of my birthday, they did a special thing where the Tokyo Gundam was only half complete, but they opened up a small exhibit where it was in pieces on the ground. And so I got to like go and like see it being built and like go see the pieces on the ground and take a picture with the head and like, oh, you can have my Gundam head. It was great. It was like, oh, the perfect Gundam nerd experience.
One of these days, I will save up enough money and visit Japan for a week because I got it. Everything you're saying, I want to do. So thank you for that. But so yeah, country. Let's talk about Channel Awesome. Now,
all right.
Yes. How did you get involved? Like, how did you discover them, and how did you get involved in them? What was the audition process like?
So I learned about Channel Awesome through Lucas, through my husband, because he had watched Nostalgia Critic on and off for years, and he had seen a casting call that they had put up. for demo reel. So I actually first auditioned for demo reel.
Okay.
Obviously I did not get demo reel. Rachel did, which is wonderful because Rachel is a beautiful,
we love
beautiful
her.
light of a human.
To death.
So Rachel got that role. But then I started watching Nostalgia Critic because I was like, well, I auditioned for them. Like, let me see what this is about. Before I even prepared what I was preparing for my audition, I watched some more episodes because I was like, well, I should probably know who this guy is if I'm going to go in for this audition. Because they had so what they did is they had a call for entries. So first I sent in like my resume with a video. And then after I made like the initial cut there, they called me for an on-camera interview. So then I went into the studio and did an on-camera interview. And then I went to a callback as well after that first initial round of casting, where I now know that I did a scene with Farad and Malcolm.
Nice.
But I didn't know that at the time. Like I had just met them that day, and now it's like, oh my god, wait, I did a scene with you for demo reel, you know. And that was a much smaller. So like when I first went in, there was like 10 other actresses, and then for the callback, I think it was just me, Tamra, Rachel, and like one or two other people. So I was like in the top 3, top 4 for demo reel. So then after I didn't make that, I just kind of still watched the channel, and then I saw another call for auditions with Awesome Comics. And they had already had my video and like comments, I guess, of me on file, and they were like, oh wait, she's auditioned for me before. Like, oh yeah, sure, great. And I came in, did an on-camera test with Walter and Rob. I think it was Walter and Rob at that time. And ironically, my story with Channel Awesome is tenacity and being there pays off, because when I first started Awesome Comics, I was not meant to be a part of the main cast. I was a alternate. So I was only supposed to sub in when people couldn't make it, or sometimes when people just didn't have the time to like watch what we were talking about. So I was just always ready and there. Like when people were like, oh, I don't have time to read this comic, I'd be like, I already read it, I'll do it. Oh, I don't have time to watch, you know, these episodes of X-Men the Animated Series, I'll do it, I got it, you know. So like I think I just inserted myself enough that I started becoming a part of more of the main cast because I was just ready and I was there, and I only lived at that time, I only lived like 15 minutes from the studio. So I told them, even if you want me to just come in and sit in just in case, like I only live 15 minutes away, I can be there, you know.
That's amazing, because I think your first episode was Alvin and the Chipmunks, I believe.
Yeah, that was my first Nostalgia Critic episode. Yes, that was my first Nostalgia Critic episode, and that was just another like crazy random happenstance, I guess, because me and Ayana had just been in filming for Awesome Comics, and Doug had come in, and he just kind of looked at me and Ayana for a second, and he was like, this is gonna be a stupid question, but do either of you like know how to sing? And I'm trained classically in singing. Like I've taken voice lessons since I was like in middle school. So I was like, yeah, actually I have years of vocal training. Yeah, I can do a song, because he knew he wanted to do the Real Chipmunks movie.
Yes.
He knew he wanted to do that song, but he needed 2 other women who knew how to sing. And so he was like, you wouldn't happen to know how to, you wouldn't happen to be singer. And I'm like, I am. Yeah. Perfect.
Nice. So it's like, what are some of your favorite like productions with Channel Awesome? Like some of your favorite and not so favorites in the in filming a NC video, or top 5 or Ober's report. Some of your favorite experiences with them.
Some of my favorite Nostalgia Critics are that first Alvin the Chipmunks, because that was a huge production. Like we green screened it, and it was just great because it was like the first time I was really getting to know like Tamra and Rob and Malcolm and Doug. So it was great getting to know everyone, and Rob Scallon was on that shoot as well. So I got to know Rob. So it was really just a moment of awe where like I had studied theater as one of my minors in college, and I had thought like, oh, it'd be pretty cool if I could do something with acting, but you know, I'm gonna get my education major because you never know, acting is so fickle. So it was just like a crazy moment of like, I'm on a set right now singing with some people who are, I guess, like YouTube kind of famous, and like people are gonna watch this. This is crazy. This is awesome. Like, this is so cool. So that one always sticks out to me. I really loved doing some of the Toonami and like Fox Kids episodes.
I love an episode.
Yeah, those were so fun because those were also some of the first times that Doug let us write. So most of the time, Doug writes all the NCs by himself. It's him and Rob. They write all the NCs. But for those, for Fox Kids and for Toonami, Doug just didn't have the same frame of reference because he's older than like me, Tamara, and Malcolm, and Walter. So he didn't really grow up with things like that. So he was like, if you could just tell me which of these shows would be like kind of important and then you guys can write about it. And it was nice because we all complimented each other in what we had kind of watched as kids. So like I was the only one who had watched Digimon. So then of course I got to write and then actually do the Digimon segment for the Fox Kids one. Nice. You know, so like it was really fun to be like, oh my gosh, I have a writing credit on Nostalgia Critic now. And like it was just kind of cool to be the one talking about these things that I'm passionate instead of having like Doug write the script, which is not to say that like Doug is the kind of person who's like, this is my script, you will say my words. It's just most of the time he's a good writer, so like I wouldn't write the joke as better than he would anyway, so I'm gonna say the joke the way he wrote it, you know?
Sure, yeah. Now, were there some productions that were like really long? Like, I don't know, off the top of my head, what's that show, the review of The Wall? Yeah, The Wall. Like productions like that, or I don't know, Jurassic World. Like, were there some productions that you just like, come on, guys, can we go home now, please, or something? Like, what were some of your like least favorite productions of NC?
The clipless reviews are always just such long filming days. And this wasn't to say it was a bad time. It was just like we would get there at 9 a.m. and leave at 10 p.m. when we're doing something like Suicide Squad or It, or Wonder Woman. Some of those were like 12-hour shoot days, 14-hour shoot days. But the one that always sticks out in my head, even though it was a lot of fun, we were filming the Wonder Woman review during a heat wave. And we had to turn off our air because it catches on the camera. Like you could hear the air conditioning go off. So we had to turn off the air conditioning. It was like 93 degrees in the studio, but we couldn't turn it on. And it's like, if we stop and take a break, like it's gonna be an 18-hour filming day. So like we had a Costco pack of 50 popsicles, like ice pops. And it would be like, after every take, you would just go to the snack room and get a popsicle and like sometimes go outside. It was colder outside than it was in the studio because like we just couldn't have windows open. We couldn't have the air on. And like, even though it was 89 degrees outside, it was better than being at the 93 stifling studios, you know? So like, it was just really hot. And I was a Dr. Poison for that one. So I had a long sleeve shirt and a cape on. So it was like, I was dying.
Wow, the 12 hours, man.
Yeah.
So were you there when they were filming Jurassic World, when they were in the park?
No, I don't think I was. I was not in Jurassic World.
How about The Wall? Like, what was that production like? That must have been...
Oh, that was fun.
Because, man, while watching that video, I'm like, this must have taken forever to film.
Yeah, well, with something like The Wall or even with the Alvin the Chipmunks one, we did the music recorded a different day. So we were just kind of lip syncing to the tracks that we had already recorded. So it kind of helped that we had recorded all the stuff and learned all the music a whole different day. So if anything, The Wall was actually just more fun than anything. To have Corey and Griffin on set was just like really, really surreal because I was a very edgy high school, middle school, college girl. I was an emo rock kid, so it was just like really crazy to be like, oh my god, I love Slipknot. Hi, Corey Taylor. Like, don't, Heather, be cool. This is Corey motherfucking Taylor. Be cool, Heather.
Were you guys allowed to take pictures with him?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So what are like some of your craziest fan interactions or experiences, whether it's in person or at a convention? They're like, oh my god, you're Heather Reusz from sign my leg, please. Like your craziest fan experience.
I don't feel like I've had too many like crazy ones where people are like sign my chest or something crazy like that. I think it's just still more wild to me to be walking down a convention hall and people being like, oh my God, Heather, hi. You know, or I think one of the most wild in a positive, a very, very positive way is the first time anyone like gave me a gift at a con. So I don't know if Duddy Baja is in chat, but like Duddy Baja was the first person who ever like gave me a gift at a con, and it was like a piece of art that he had made that was specific to my stream. I'm gonna get it off the wall. Hold on, because I'm gushing about it.
That's fine. Thank you for the gift.
It is framed.
Whoa!
So he made this cute little. That's me as Richie. Am I right, boys? Because at that time I was Max Wieners. I was playing a Cook Serve Delicious 2. And so one of the restaurants in Cook Serve Delicious 2 was Max Wieners, and we would just constantly make wiener jokes, as one does when you're faced with that kind of a name. And so like it was just so awesome to be like, oh my gosh, someone made art, and not just like of Nostalgia Critic, but like of me.
That is amazing. Okay,
you know?
Heather, can we get one Am I Right, boys, please?
Yeah. Hold on, let me. Oh no, that wasn't good. Hold on, we got to do it better. Am I right, boys?
Yes! Thank you. The one and only. This is why she's a queen, boys and girls. So, like, next question is, do you ever get to, like, write your own jokes for NC? Like, when you're filming, you're like, can I say this joke, please? Or something like that?
Yes and no. So Doug does have a set script. And sometimes you do come with an idea for an addition to the line or a little bit of a change to it. And Doug's fairly open to that. But I think this is a fairly standard thing across most like film shoots. So what we'll do is like just do it the way that he wrote it first, and then maybe do a couple of different other takes if I think I have an idea for a way to say the line differently or add to it or want to ad lib at the end. So we'll do like maybe 4 or 5 takes, and we are free to like add stuff to it, but it's all ultimately up to Doug in post what he chooses, what he thinks is the funniest. All so right. I've had some things where I thought I added something that was funny and he just didn't think it fit with the rest of the script. And I'm like, it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, oh, okay, that didn't work with the rest of the script and that's fine, you know? So we are free to add some stuff, but we always get one the way it's written as well. Okay. One take the way it's written.
That's cool. So what about the shows that you're in a lot more often, like Orbis Report or Cheap Cosplay or Awesome Comics? Why exactly did those shows stop? Out of curiosity.
A lot of time it's just interest or time constraints. So Awesome Comics was. I always hate. I feel like I sound like such a entitled person to say like, well, Awesome Comics got, we wouldn't get more than 15,000 views, when I know there's like people who would die for 15,000 views. But in the grand scheme of things of us as a channel that has 1 million subscribers, that was like nothing. And so it was costing them more money to make it than it was bringing in.
I see.
So that just makes sense. You know, like we had our year run, we had kind of had our fun, and it didn't make logical business sense to do it anymore. So those shows.
Is that the same with Orbis Report and Cheap Cosplay also?
Oh, $20 cosplay was because the pandemic, really.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot.
Yeah. We tried to do a couple of pandemic episodes, and it just wasn't the same. It was very stressful for us to try to build those at home with what we had without going thrifting. And so, like, we would love to do it again, but, like, at this time, still, we're all not feeling 100% safe about doing thrifting. And we would love to pick it back up, but that was a pandemic casualty, because really, there was only, like, 5 episodes of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at one point we were talking about, and I'm pretty sure even Doug has mentioned something about this before. At one point we were talking about even expanding to a second channel, and $20 cosplay was going to be on that second channel where we could put things like Awesome Comics and $20 cosplay and like other ideas that other of us had pitched, that could go on the second channel without bringing down the analytics of the main channel. But it just ended up not working out and kind of didn't make sense. Part of that is because YouTube changes its algorithm so much and never really lets the creators know what's going on.
Yeah.
So like it made sense with the old algorithm for us to make a second channel with those things, because we were kind of getting penalized for having videos that were doing poorly in relative to other videos. But then they changed it again And now I don't even know. Now it's like actually any content is good content. Doesn't matter if it's getting 5,000 views or 500,000 views. So like then it threw everything off. So YouTube just needs to get its shit together.
For sure. So do you think Orbit's Report will go on a second channel if you guys ever decide to go down that path?
Probably not, because at this point Orbit Report and Awesome Comics have kind of fused into Awesome Comics and Coffee, which we have on Saturday mornings on the channel Awesome Twitch. So because part of the problem with Orbit Report was we were filming that on a Saturday and then it would come out on a Monday, and it was an entertainment news show. So within those 2 days, like Saturday night into Sunday, some other things would come out, and then the video would be posted on Monday, and the comments would be like, why didn't they talk about this trailer that dropped on Saturday night? Or like, why didn't they even bring up this thing that happened on Sunday? Like, you're supposed to be an entertainment news show and you're talking about things that happened last Wednesday? And it's like, that's a valid point. You know, like we need that kind of, Twitch is a better platform for that because it's a lot more real time. You have the ability to like, I could be on Twitter, or even, this is a great example. Last weekend, not this weekend, but last weekend, was the Netflix event, the To Doom event. And it was simultaneously being broadcast while we were doing Awesome Comics and Coffee. And in the past, if that was happened during an Orbit Report, we just had to be like, well, I guess we're just not talking about this stuff. But with Awesome Comics, the way it is, I could pause what we were doing and be like, hey, Netflix is showing the opening sequence to the Cowboy Bebop. Let's go watch that right now. You know, so like having that as a live format just really helps to be able to be a better presenter for something like an entertainment news show. So that's a long way of saying I don't think Orbit Report is ever coming back on YouTube because Twitch is just so much of a better venue for it.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about how Channel Awesome migrated over to Twitch, shall we? That's a lot of things I want to know about that. So like, was it your idea? From the beginning to like, hey, let's go on Twitch? Were they like, sure at first, or were they like, nah at first? How did you convince them to open up a Twitch account?
It was a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. So at that time, YouTube, when we first started talking about doing the Twitch, YouTube was having another adpocalypse, which if you're not familiar, for the people at home, what an adpocalypse is on YouTube, basically there were these moments when YouTube started demonetizing videos for no reason, or like people who were advertisers were pooling all of their ads, and like we were not in a bad place, but we were losing money because so many of our videos were demonetized and advertisers were being pulled from our channel for like no reason at all. Like YouTube wasn't being transparent about anything that was happening. And so the company just kind of was like, well, does anyone even have any ideas for other sources of revenue? Because like, what if YouTube just doesn't fix this? And how would we get any other sources of revenue? Does anyone have any ideas? And I was kind of like, well, I do this thing called Twitch. If maybe we want to think about doing it on Twitch. And they were like, sure, great. Management was like, that's a great idea. That sounds wonderful. We'll get a PC in here if you can start setting things up. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. Sure, great, awesome. So it was just kind of more of it's just another form of revenue for us that really helps. It's obviously still not our main form of revenue. YouTube is, because we are more popular on YouTube than Twitch. But it's just it's a really nice other stream of revenue that we don't have to depend on YouTube. If like we have a bad month in YouTube, we can supplement it with what we've made on Twitch as well.
Because I remember when you guys first started, you were still in the studio and doing many amazing things. Like I love that one of your highest viewed videos is Doug playing Mario Party and he can't get the bean outside of the thing. That's beyond hilarious. So like, what are so besides that, like, what are some of your other favorite streaming moments with the other Channel Awesome members together or on stream?
Well, the very first Halloween that we had with Twitch, might have been October of 2019, maybe. I had put a bit goal as like a joke, thinking we would never get it up, that like Doug would cosplay the next stream. And I can't even remember how this came about, but we even had choices. And we decided that like, oh, Poison Ivy would be hilarious. Like, sure, if we get like 50,000 bits this stream, Doug will dress up as Poison Ivy next stream. Well, I should have known better, because we got the bit goal, and Doug sure wore a leotard and some tights and a wig the next week. And it was beautiful. It was hilarious. That was so funny. It was really nice being at the studio. I kind of miss being able to be at the studio, because like there were just some random moments that you can't have when you're doing remote streaming like this. Where like one time Walter was filming, I can't remember what review he was filming it for, but he was in the full Joker makeup, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker makeup, and an outfit. And I was doing like my Monday night stream, and he was just like, can I just come in here and poke my head in? I think it'd be hilarious. I want to show everyone my makeup. And I'm like, sure, buddy. Like, come on in. You want to play Smash Bros for a little while? You could be Joker. We could just play Smash Bros for a little while. And he was like, yeah. So, yeah, I do miss being at the studio. But it is nice being able to not have to worry about going to the studio, and like just being able to do things from the comfort of my own home. I will forever be a little grateful to the pandemic, because my setup got such a boost.
Nice.
When I had to start doing remote streaming for Channel Awesome, because like all the things that were at the studio that weren't being used, I was told like, go ahead and take it. So like this microphone used to be in the studio, but now it's mine. Yeah, I've been told don't worry about returning it, because like,
nice.
You know, I've used it for over a year and a half now. Or like my key light is from the studio. My stream deck is from the studio. Oh, I have the studio Switch. I never had a Switch until I have the studio Switch, and I have the studio's Xbox.
Hey, talk about the upgrade. That's pretty good.
Because they were just sitting there collecting dust, you know? No one was using them. And actually, one of the first, when the pandemic first hit, I was still streaming Pokemon Shield. And so I was told, just go ahead and take the Switch. You know, you can use the Switch, but you'll bring it back when. Oh, foolish us. Bring it back in the month or two, you know, when we're back at the studio in a month or two.
So do you think at some point you'll have like maybe a stream in the studio with everybody whenever you guys get partnered or hit 20K? You're pretty close to 220K, actually.
We are. Yeah. So we're hoping at some point to bring back group streams to the studio. We are doing Awesome Comics and Coffee on Saturday mornings in the studio, but the problem is much like how I kind of took the things that I needed, other people took the other things that they needed, and we don't really have a streaming PC at the studio anymore. Because Jim's computer died in the middle of the pandemic. So he was told he could take the computer. Rob needed a new monitor, so Rob took all the monitors from the streaming computer. I took the microphone, you know, like Malcolm or Tamara's capture card died at some point, so Tamara has the capture card from the studio. So like the problem is that there literally isn't the equipment there. So we're ordering new things to hopefully be able to do some more group in-person streams, because there's something special about being able to be physically in the same room together.
Oh yes.
Rather than just like doing things over Skype, because that 1 second delay can make a huge difference sometimes.
Oh yeah, I believe that for sure. Yeah, but it's like, would you say that after? I want to talk about Doug and Kingdom Hearts, because that is my favorite. That's what I look forward to every single week. I gotta tell you, as a big Kingdom Hearts fan, and I'm sure yourself also, watching him get through the hard parts of Kingdom Hearts is like some of the most funniest moments I've ever seen on Twitch. But since he's getting very close to finishing Kingdom Hearts 3, what will take over the Friday slot? Like, do you think he'll play Birth by Sleep or a different game or what?
We're actually not 100% sure what's gonna happen. He's gonna play a couple of other Disney games for Disney-cember.
Nice.
So I don't remember exactly what might be up, but like we're gonna do like Aladdin or some other like some of those small, shorter like NES, SNES classic games. So he's going to do a couple of those, and then I don't know, we're just going to kind of see based on that if people like how the viewership is, because we're not sure if people are there to watch Doug or watch Kingdom Hearts or
all the above.
What? Both, yeah. So we are probably just going to do some of those Disney games and then see where it goes.
Nice. I look forward to that. So let's talk about the Chaos Queen, shall we? I love that name, first of all. Shout out to Tamara for part 2 of the Chaos Queen. What are some of your favorite memories streaming with Tamara?
Oh, gosh. Okay. So I think Tamara and I have talked about this before. So this was another unfortunate casualty of the pandemic, I guess, is we started our Tuesday afternoon streams because Tamara and I were going to do a video game review show on Channel Awesome.
Nice.
So our Tuesday afternoon streams, initially, we were playing indie games together because we both had an interest in like indie games, but never really jumped into that world before. So we were going to play indie games and then review them. One of the first ones that we played was Braid, which is what 2008 probably really helped kick off that like boon in indie games in like the late 2000s, mid 2000s. So we played Braid, and I think this may have been where we were dubbed the Queens of Chaos. Is first of all, it was infuriating. Like there were some moments where Tamara and I thought we were going crazy, but then I don't even remember exactly what happened. One of us pressed the wrong button, and after we had been playing this for like 6 hours, we accidentally deleted our save and started the whole game over.
Oh, no.
And, like, we literally were, like, not crying, but just in absolute disbelief. And we're like, could we be any more of chaotic messes right now? Like, we've been screaming at this game for 6 hours, and now we have to start over?
How did that happen?
Are you kidding? I don't even remember. I don't even remember who hit the button or what happened, but we accidentally deleted our save and had to start over.
Oh,
and it was
man.
just like, we are chaotic messes. Absolute chaotic messes right now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so let's talk about Malcolm now, shall we? What are some of your favorite Malcolm rage moments? Because I have a few of my own. Shout out to Malcolm. Love you, buddy.
I was really amused by him playing Final Fantasy VII Remake on hard and spending his whole time trying to beat bosses.
Yeah, I saw him trying to fight Reno.
Oh my god. Trying to do the Hell House. He spent like 2.5 streams trying to do the Hell House. Or even that first boss, he spent like 3 hours fighting it. And I'm like, this is hilarious.
How does he do? Bro, I mean, I struggle on medium, bro. How'd you do it? Props to you, man.
I know, it was just, so that was really funny. I used to also just really like, so again, back when we were at the studio, when I would do Tamara, when I would moderate for Tamara and for Malcolm, I used to physically be in the room with them. Like I would have my laptop, but I would be off to the side in case there was any tech issues, I could come help. And so like, I just always used to love to be in the corner and just like shout for Malcolm to be like, what are you doing? Or like, I would just shout things at him and be like, Malcolm, please.
That's hilarious. So, last question for the group, like, how well do you think Doug's gonna do for the final boss of Kingdom Hearts 3?
We'll see. He'll get it eventually, but much like he had to learn and grow for Roxas, I think he's gonna be forced to just do things that he doesn't like to do, like use magic. And not just heal, like use Thundara or something, Doug.
Hey, in the small chance you're watching Doug, good luck. I'm sending you my chocolate flavor energy right now. Good luck, buddy. Good luck, just saying. But knowing you will handle it no problem. I believe in you. So, next question is going to be a little different tone. As we all know, a few years ago, Channel Awesome went through a lot of controversy, which no opinions given here. But how did you handle that whole chapter of that dark time for Channel Awesome?
It's it's kind of hard for me to speak to that whole situation because a lot of the issues that were brought up in the document were from moments in time when I was not involved with the company. So I could not really speak to it or anything like that. The only thing I could really talk about and really compare to is my experiences currently. But like my experiences currently doesn't always negate the things or invalidate the things that maybe happened 8 years ago, but I don't know. I wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't there, but I can tell you that in 2020, I was treated very well with Channel Awesome. But then the other distinction to make as well is that I am a paid employee of Channel Awesome. Many of the other people who wrote the things that they wrote in the document were not paid employees of Channel Awesome. They were contributors to the website. So I think there's also just a discrepancy in experiences there as well, because I am a paid employee rather than a contributor. So I always have been treated very kindly, very fairly. I have never seen us ever out of snacks or drinks or anything like that. But again, my experiences don't necessarily invalidate the experiences of others. I just don't know because I wasn't there.
Yeah. Because I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I met Doug and Malcolm and Tam back in 2015, I filmed with them. They were the nicest people on the planet. Like, we went out to eat and Doug covered my meal. They're that nice of people. So I have nothing but nice things to say about them. But were people online, like, coming after you in, like, a violent or negative way? They were?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, well, because I was with the channel at that time, and like I kind of flew under the radar more than Tamara. Tamara and Malcolm really got the brunt of it, unfortunately. Because at that point I was just doing Awesome Comics. I maybe top 5 at that time. I don't know, but I was really not heavily involved with the main crew. So I think I was able to fly under the radar more than like Tamara or Malcolm were. So I mean, obviously you're gonna get things, and people are jerks online.
True.
So I just tried to be there.
Grow, right?
Right. I just tried to be there for my friends and kind of not stay out of it, but just when asked about it, be like, I wasn't there 8 years ago. I don't know what happened on the set of Suburban Nights. I don't know. You know, like I literally wasn't there, you know?
Gotcha. So moving on to a more positive note, do you see yourself and Channel Awesome staying on Twitch permanently? Or do you think like, because of how like broken Twitch is right now, have you guys considered streaming on Twitch also? And you also, do you see yourself only streaming on Twitch, or maybe going on YouTube also?
I think at this time we're just gonna stay on Twitch. YouTube is kind of I don't want to say a whole different ball game, but they don't have all of the same features that Twitch does, like a gift subbing and subbing. And there's also just a different culture in YouTube, even in the streaming sphere, rather than on Twitch. Because, and we even had this, I don't want to say this problem, but we did see a lot of this translation error, I guess is the best way to put it, between our Twitch and YouTube audience when we first started streaming on Twitch. In that when people are on YouTube, they expect free content.
Yes.
And even though you can have the option for like super chats and subscribers and tipping and things like that, it's just the culture of YouTube is not one of tipping and giving money and whatever. Whereas the culture on Twitch is a lot more like, hey, yeah, I can watch this for free, but I appreciate what you do. And I just feel like on Twitch, there's still a lot more of a culture of giving, where people recognize more the content that you are giving may technically be free, but it's not free to produce. And so I just feel like on Twitch, we're more likely to get people who are willing to pay for subscribers or give us more bits and things like that. I just feel like the culture of Twitch is a lot more, it's a lot more prevalent to do those kind of things, rather than the culture of YouTube, which is still just a lot more of, this is free. And you owe me free entertainment. I'm not going to pay you for something that I can get for free.
Proud subscriber right here. So the last question I have for you is, do you guys have any plans for when you hit 20K or when you get partnered? Because I'm surprised you guys are not partnered yet. Seriously.
Yeah.
Do you have any like celebration plans for when you eventually do get partnered?
At this time, nothing in particular. We're just really not focusing. Like, part of the nice thing is, over the years, Twitch has kind of blurred the line between affiliate and partner. And like right now, we could we could push for partner and maybe try to negotiate getting a bigger slice of subs, but like we don't necessarily need that. Because part of it is we have applied for partner before, but part of the issue is that not every single show that we run has an average of like 60 to 75 people.
Gotcha.
And like, we have done this more for the joy of streaming and having added content more than for the money or for the recognition or whatever. So like, I would feel so bad to be like, we have to stop doing this stream because it's only getting 35 viewers. Like, I don't want to be that person who's telling like, Rob, you have to stop your stream because of this. Or like, Malcolm, you have to stop streaming because of this. Like, that just doesn't feel good. Like, if someone is only getting 35 viewers and they're having a good time and people are enjoying watching them, like, I'm not going to tell them that they can't do that stream on the Channel Awesome stream just so that we can make partner for what, like a couple extra dollars a month? You know, like, it's just not worth it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, right. Like, it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel good to tell people that they have to get off because their show like isn't good enough, which isn't even a thing, you know, like just because I guess my Monday night streams are a good example. They've been getting a lot more views lately because I've been doing the Metroid and Metroid's been popular, whatever. But like, it just because I only have like 40 viewers doesn't mean that my content is less than Doug's Kingdom Hearts content. It's just that people from the Channel Awesome audience may watch me and be like, I don't even know who this person is. Why would I sit here and watch this random chick play Metroid? You know, so like, it doesn't feel good to be like, oh, I have to stop my streams because Channel Awesome people don't know who I am. You know, like, I'm having fun and like not to be that person, but like I put this whole thing together. I deserve a night where I can stream, you know?
Yes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, even coming from a viewer of the content, what you guys are doing right now is perfect and amazing and hilarious. I love seeing you guys individually and as a group. It's one of my favorite streams on Twitch, hands down.
Thank you.
So now we're going to head over to the fan favorite section of the stream called Top 10 Questions for Heather Reusz. So Heather, are you familiar with Inside the Actor Studio?
Oh, yes. Okay.
I'm going to ask you those 10 questions from that show. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so the very first question is, what is your favorite word?
Oh, my favorite word is defenestration. It means to throw somebody out a window. It's great. It was the way that the 100 Years' War started because of the defenestration of Prague. Someone threw another guy out a window and it started a war.
What is your least favorite word?
Oh, God. I guess I'm going to be really stereotypical and say moist. It feels bad.
You are the second person who has said that. Why?
It feels bad. It just, I feel moist saying it, and like moist is just not a nice word. Like, you're just damp and uncomfortable, and like, it's not a nice word.
Gotcha. What makes you happy?
What makes me happy? Beer, giraffes, Heather's herd, and video games.
What makes you upset?
Oh, God. My own brain? Depression gang, what up?
What sound or noise do you love?
Ooh, oh, God. I love the sound of rain. I love the sound of, I don't know if this is stupid or not, but I love the sound of the PlayStation starting up and like those first moments of the PlayStation like music, menu music. I love that.
I agree. That's a very good noise. Now, what sound or noise do you hate?
I hate chewing noises. I cannot stand, like, I am that person where if you are eating on stream, I'm gonna mute your stream because I cannot handle the like. I hate mouth noises.
So Heather Reusz, what is your favorite curse word?
Ooh, my favorite curse word. Oh. Either damn or bitch. I just love calling people bitches. In a positive light and a negative light. It's like, Tamara, she's my bitch. But also, like, that guy, he's a bitch. You know?
what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Well, besides streaming and besides teaching, oh gosh, besides streaming and besides teaching, what would I have been? A librarian? I almost thought about being a librarian instead of a teacher, because I do love books, and I was really into the idea of, like, I should be a librarian where I could just, like, sit and read books and, like, tell people the kind of wonderful books that they could read, and so I guess librarian, yeah.
What profession would you not like to attempt?
I would not like any kind of, like, retail management. God bless people who do retail management, because I don't want to do I don't want to do shift scheduling. I don't want to have to deal with all the people who are like, can I speak to your manager? No. God bless you if you're a manager in a retail setting. You've got patience I could never know.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates? You did good work, and your life had purpose. Now rest, my child. Ladies and gentlemen, one big round of applause for the Twitch queen herself, Heather Reusz. Thank you again so much for coming to the show. Cannot thank you enough. Thank you. So before we
I'm so happy I could be here.
Before we go rate somebody else, any departing words you'd like to say to the audience?
Oh golly. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out and being here tonight. We super appreciate it. I feel like I always say that at the end of every stream. Oh god. If you want to check me out, I stream on my personal channel at twitch.tv/Heather Reusz. I'm also on Instagram at hreusz or Twitter at Heather Reusz. Or I'm on the Channel Awesome Twitch, twitch.tv/Channel Awesome 6 days a week.
6 days.
6 days a week. I'm on there either as a voice or in the chat or on the camera. So you can find me there as well. I always like to say this as well at the end of my stream, so I'm going to depart it on your family of chocolate lovers here too, that you are all wonderful, amazing, cared for humans who matter and are important. So always remember that, because you are an amazing, wonderful, cared for human.
Go ahead and link your Twitch in the chat.
Okay.
Give this. There's a reason why they call her the Twitch queen. Give her a follow, please. Like, this human right here was one of my many inspirations to stream on Twitch. Without Heather, we might not have even gotten a Motown downtown. So give her a follow.
Thank you.
Cannot recommend her enough.
Thank you.
So thank you guys again for joining me tonight. Thank you again, Heather, for coming here. And I'll see you guys on Monday for more Devil May Cry. So until then, my name is Mo Chocolate, and you have been testified. Stay tuned for a Tide Pool of Dreams coming up next. Bye-bye.
Night.